Real talk, the metaphor messiah, man. I got this one. Let's go. You ever seen the morning star? Mr. Metaphor Messiah, back to show you who we are. I represent a legacy, a pothead like the 70s, a different kind of mind. They say we only speak in melodies.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave, coming at you live from Germany for the best show on all the YouTubes. That's right. No more messing around here. We are just the best show on YouTube. There's nothing more to say about that. You know it. I know it. Your mama knows it. Your daddy knows it. Your greasy-headed granny with the holes in her panties know it. Everybody knows it. That Dead on Dave Live is the place to be. So what's going on? Hopefully everybody is doing well. Yes, I extended out my intro a little bit because I realized I did not have my game on as of yet, because you have joined us on a game night. Everything got messed up today as far as time frame. Didn't get to do the things I wanted to do earlier, and now this thing is fighting me, and that's just lovely. Everything's fighting me. It's gonna be one of those days. Good God. All right, so we need to get rid of the old one, apparently. So, yes, we're going to be playing some Pokemon. We're going to be talking about some of the things that are going on in the world right now. Well, the YouTube world, at the very least, because there is some interesting things that are happening that I do want to talk about, especially in the esports world. Somebody lost their mother fuzzing mind on Twitch, and we got to talk about that. We're also going to take your calls, your questions, your hopes, your dreams, your quips, your quotes, and so much more right here for the next, I don't know, hour, 2 hours, who knows? You never know. You never know with me. I don't know if this is going to be an overly long show. I am pretty damn tired. I'm not gonna lie. I am feeling like copious, hammered butthole. There's no question about that right now. I am extremely tired, but I am here, and I'm here for you because I love you and you love me. And we are indeed one big family. That is all truth, justice, and the American way. So how is everybody doing? Hopefully everyone's having a fantastic day today. But I'll tell you who's not having a fantastic day. Oh, boy. How can people be so stupid? How can people be dumb as shit? Because there's one guy, Matt Vaughn. Matt Vaughn, best known as... Oh, geez. Good job. Turn off your audio, you stupid asshole. Matt Vaughn, Dellor from, well, he used to be part of Toronto Esports. He was a sort of well-known Overwatch player, Twitch streamer. Went a little crazy. The other day had an outburst. Like, this is so ridiculous. To lose your job, your esports job. Look, the reality is he was 28, and had he not, made it by now, he probably wasn't going to make it. It's not an old man's game at all. But still, he was part of the team, and all that was great over there at Toronto Esports. But of all the things that you can do, of all the reactions that you can have while losing a game, going on a rampage, a tirade of the N-word, the dreaded N-word, for literally 30 seconds. That is one of the silliest ones I think I've seen in a long time. Not because it's so unexpected or so crazy or so out of the blue, but it's so Bush League. It's like getting angry and knowing that you're part of a esports team. I mean, he knows he's a part of that esports team, but yet allowed himself to do something so absolutely retarded and lose your job over. You know you're losing your job. You know you're done. In this climate, the second that something like that happens, you're gone. It's over. There's no coming back from that. None. It's impossible. And he did. And to his credit, he did own it. He knows what he did was wrong. Toronto Esports came out with the announcement on the release of Matt Dellor Vaughn, and they said the following: the circumstances of this dismissal relate to the incident where Dellor used abusive and discriminatory racial language while streaming. Toronto Esports is an organization built on inclusivity, and we have always had a zero tolerance policy for any forms of discrimination. Immediately upon learning the incident, the player was interviewed, admitted to the offense, and was notified that his contract with the organization was being terminated. And to his credit, he did go up on Twitter and basically said, I am sorry. I fucked up. I am done with esports and I won't be returning. So he kind of took his ball and went home after he already lost his job about it. But here's the thing. And I think it's important, and this is an important conversation to have, because once again, a guy like this, and he's getting buried ridiculously on all these media formats. Every article goes on and on about racism. And I'm not going to defend this guy. What he said was stupid. It was wrong. And if you don't want a guy representing your company because he goes and just says the N-word for 30 consecutive seconds because he loses a video game, well, that is well and good in your prerogative. But I'll tell you this. Being around as many different people in my life as I have, just because you say the N-word does not make you a racist. And yes, I know they're rehashing a conversation that we have all the goddamn time. I am not convinced that this guy is a racist. I'm convinced this guy's an idiot. That's what I'm convinced of. I'm convinced of that. That is unquestionable in my mind. This guy is a proper retard. There's no question. And I think that's completely fair for him to lose his job over that. I do. But I do not like this overreaction and this immediate response of 100% racist. If you use the word, you're racist. He wasn't talking to a black guy. He didn't yell at a black guy, you are an N-word, you are a dirty N-word. He wasn't spouting off about wanting to kill N-words. He wasn't spouting off about being superior to N-words. I don't feel there was hatred. I feel that he was looking for an out. That's what it felt like watching the video, which is about a minute long, and I would play it, but I am such a pussy when it comes to copyright stuff. And Lord knows that things are tough enough on YouTube as it is right now. Last thing I need is a copyright strike, so I don't even want to chance it. And I know I'd probably have nothing to worry about. But you go watch the video. It's about a minute long, and essentially he he dies in a game, and he gets in an argument with a teammate over what the role was of the teammate. And then he just gets so angry at the teammate's response that he just starts screaming N-word for 30 seconds. And it just seemed like it was something that they've probably done before on a stream, that they've talked about before. It just seemed like it was like banana, safe word banana. You know, it's like he wanted an out, and he got an out. It was just weird. It was bizarre. The whole damn thing is just insane. Now, you can find this video very easily. There are a lot of different articles that have it already in there. But just type in the name of Matt Dellor, Vaughn. Name is in the title. And you can find the article very, very simply. And he's gone. He's gone. And there's no question about it. But it's this conversation. And again, he's an Overwatch player. At least he was. But again, it goes back to this conversation, this oversensitivity to all words. And I'm not saying that it's even wrong or that companies shouldn't be allowed to punish its employees in any way, shape, or form that it feels like if the word in question is... That's not what I'm talking about. That is not the topic of the discussion. The topic of the discussion really results to that continued overreaction by the media and by public over context. This is, once again, it goes back to context. Context mattering and what the true definition of racism is. It's pretty crazy. I'm not saying that there is 100% likelihood that there was no hatred in this guy's voice. No, I'm not saying that, or in his words. I'm saying I don't know what's in his heart. I don't know what's in his mind. But I'll tell you this, based off that video, under those circumstances, it seemed like he was simply trying to go out. That was it. It was like that was the final straw. This teammate, whatever the case may be, was enough for him to completely lose it, and he fucking went out hard. And that's what it felt like. It's very bizarre to me, the whole thing. But this constant overreaction to it doesn't really help much. You know, it just continues on the same cyclical shit that we constantly see in the media. And then how does this relate to anything else that's going on? Well, look at the climate right now on YouTube. I mean, Jesus. Look at the climate that's going on within YouTube, and it's all because of oversensitivity and overreaction to all words. Once again, not exactly related to this guy because what he said was wrong, and he absolutely had to go. No question about that. But labeling people as racist and labeling everything that somebody does as offensive, derogatory, racist, immediately, without any context or subtext or any knowing of the individual, is insane, and it causes more problems than it fixes, and that's something that I think needs to be brought up because Ethan H3H3 today, now I have a lot of things that I'm going to get into here. It's H3H3 put out a video where he kind of laid out his financial issues right now within YouTube. And he had a little bit more insight to everything that's happening with YouTube right now as far as what options they're giving to advertisers. Now advertisers have a lot more options when they pick what videos get their advertisements. Well, it's basically a 5 or 6 checklist blocks. Offensive, racist, edgy. I mean, like, it's pretty ridiculous. How much they're giving the leeway. It's pretty insane. And it all stems from all of these type of stories. All of these, look, it doesn't excuse the stupid behavior by people. But Jesus Christ, there is a distinct difference between saying a word, and JJ Lopez says, but why say the N-word? Why not just say shout fuck or wank, duddle or anything? Because none of those are getting you kicked off of a team. None of you is ending a stream. It looked like he was trying to punish a teammate, punish a team. And look, it was stupid. There's no question. Certain words will get your ass out of there. If you want out of something, what words you could say to get out of something. If you're an MMA fighter, and we've seen this before in MMA and in boxing, where fighters don't want to be in a ring anymore. When they look like they don't want to be there, drop their hands a little bit. They go ahead and loosen their guard when they're getting choked, and they just let the choke happen. It happens. That guy wanted out. That's what it seems like to me. And the fact that he doesn't fight anything, but he doesn't admit to being a racist either. He took responsibility for the words that he said, but he didn't offer an apology to the racist stuff because it's probably ridiculous to him. So why even address it? That was probably the smartest thing he could have done. It's pretty crazy. Bryce, I saw it now, Dave. Sorry for the catch-up. Came in stream 4 minutes late. No problem, Bryce. Guncannon. Oh, yes, it's my good buddy Guncannon's birthday. My good buddy. He's here. He's here, and it's his birthday. I'm so happy for him. He's older than me, which makes me happy because I am very petty. And he's older than me by days, like less than a month, I think. So, but still, I'm petty. So it makes me happy. Should it? Probably not. It's still pretty funny. Pretty funny. We're going to take some calls on this because I know some people probably want to sound. I got some video game people who know a hell of a lot more about esports than I do. Guncannon being one of them. I'm sure some of them want to weigh in on this because it is kind of interesting. So we'll take your calls on Discord if you want to call in. Jump into wait and call and let me know what you think about the situation. Let's see here. Yeah, a lot of people are like with the H3H3 thing. Uncle Ulam says, I worry about H3H3. Is the lawsuit still going on? Yes, that lawsuit is still going on in spite of everything that's happening. It looks like it's becoming more and more apparent that the problem within YouTube is not going away. The problem within YouTube is not going away. It's getting worse. And if they're going to be truly... I'm a little conflicted with the entire thing. And I'll tell you why. And this is not going to make me popular in any YouTube circle. The fact that YouTube has remained the way it has for as long as it has, which is basically the fucking wild, wild west, is incredible. Because no other advertised-based business model does business like this. Or did business like this, where everything basically went. And people got paid, and there wasn't a lot of restrictions. There wasn't a lot of things that screwed people over. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. So when all this comes down and the money dries up for not only the YouTubers who are established. Now, while a lot of them who have millions of views will probably be okay in the long run because they have an established voice, it does have a deterrent to all the younger, the smaller channels and stuff, which is fine. If you're strong enough to stick through it, you're strong enough to stick through it. But there's a good possibility that you're not going to be because of the change in the business model. My only reservation with all of it is I'm not sure that it's not how the business model should have been from the beginning, because no other advertiser-based business model in the world does it like this, where it was just anything goes. There are restrictions. Advertisers got to choose where they had stuff. Now, I know what you could say, and some people are making this statement. Well, there's violence on TV, Dave. There's sex on TV, Dave. There's edgy content on TV, Dave. Yes, you're 100% right, there are. But it's all governed. It's all controllable. It's all through a system. YouTube isn't. YouTube is lottie-dottie, everybody uploading whatever they want, whenever they want, and then most people hiding behind, well, it's a joke. And that's all the explanation that most people give. It's a little bit more difficult. Radio personalities probably have the hardest time with this, because you look at it, there are established radio personalities who, once they've crossed a specific line in PC culture, have lost their fucking jobs. Most famously recently, Don Imus. In the last 10 years, or whatever that was. God, that felt probably longer than that now. Don Imus lost a job that he had for years because of crossing a line. It does happen, even in protected markets. YouTube is not such a protected market. And when you're talking about advertisers and you're talking about how the advertising business works, and this goes back to what Keem and Scarce tried to do with the whole thank you Coke, and they made all the jokes while trying to congratulate Coke for coming back, and they started making jokes about butt sex and all these weird, awkward things. And they were proud of this. Like, this was a smart thing to do. Take all the other thing, the fact that that Coke was actually already withdrew their advertising and all of that. Take that off the table. But just the fact that these simpletons fucking think that's what advertisers want. That's not what advertisers want. If it was, there would be a lot more edgy people with drinking Cokes and shit. There would be a lot. There's more control in advertising. And I'm going to talk about something else a little bit here because I find this interesting to me. During the H3H3 video, where I thought he did a very good job mostly of talking about all the problems within YouTube and what he's going to have to do, they plug the shit out of an advertiser that wants to be in business with him. And that was fine. He did a really good job of pumping up the product. And then Gila got in on the action, and she didn't deliver as good of a promo. And this leads to another issue within this type of business model. Most advertisers, I've had a little bit of contact with some advertisers who've had me run some plugs for them. They want you to deliver something. Usually you get a sheet. You get a sheet of what they want you to say. Sometimes you'll have free form, but a lot of times you will have a sheet, and sometimes they change it up 3-4 times a month, whatever the case may be. But they want it delivered a certain way so the product will actually fucking sell. And a lot of the people on YouTube simply aren't capable of doing that. And I think a lot of people are going to find out the hard way. A lot of people who are going to go try to do other things, and some have already found this out, by the way, when they cross over into mainstream media, that they're not going to make it. They're not making it. The world is going to absolutely have their way with them, and then they're going to be crying for the way YouTube was. The problem with that is YouTube's not that way anymore. And here's the crux of the entire discussion. YouTube is changing to a mainstream media platform. That is what's happening. And H3H3 is probably right. YouTube is probably using all of this PC shit to get rid of people that they've been wanting to get rid of for a long time. He is probably right. They are trying to change. It's wrong, it's stupid, and it's probably going to kill the platform. But I don't think YouTube cares, because the people who are uploading cat videos, the people who are uploading harmless prank videos, things that are advertiser friendly still, if they even are advertising, even if they are monetizing, which not all of them do, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't look at their CPMs. Most of them don't. YouTube is still a casual-based platform, more than people even realize. Yeah, there's a lot of creators who do what I do and do what H3 and Keem and Tommy and Kevin Smith now and so many others do. But the reality is a lot of people still just upload random videos to YouTube and walk the fuck away. They're not thinking of it as a business model. And that's what YouTube probably wants. They want less people depending on YouTube as a career, because that is more people that they will have to try and control or be responsible for, like PewDiePie. You think that they want to be responsible for hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of YouTubers that suddenly have a powerful voice within the real world? Fuck no, they don't. Because that means they're liable. That's more lawsuits for them that they'll eventually have to deal with. More headaches. They don't want that shit. They want this to turn into what mainstream media is, because it's less problems that they have to deal with from us, who do what we want to do most of the time, because that's what we were expecting to do on YouTube, to be able to essentially do what we wanted, when we wanted, and get paid for it. I've made this very clear so many times why I am on this platform. Because when I did other types of podcasting, I had to pay to get extra space. If I wanted more than a gig of space, upload more than 4 episodes, 5 episodes on a time on Podbean or Podomatic or even frickin' SoundCloud, you gotta pay. You gotta subscribe. And it sucks. Even $10 a month, especially back then, I was making no money off of it. I've only started making money monetization-wise in the past year. I got my AdSense reinstated last July. It's crazy. It's crazy. So a lot of people are freaking out right now because, as JJ Lopez said, YouTube is a company at the end of the day. It is. It's part of a huge corporation that has global control, global influence. YouTube may not, because YouTube is still considered the place where cat videos live. But Google has a global influence. That is why, even with everything that has been put into YouTube, everything that has been put into the business, all the money that is generated, and we're talking billions of dollars, $4 billion a year, still operating at a loss, and still only 6% of Google's revenue. Unbelievable. When you think of it in those terms, while it's powerful and it can be quite influential, it's still rather small potatoes. And the thing is, maybe it's time that they want to be able to have more control over that platform. And to do that, it's quite simple. You go mainstream. They started hinting towards this when they had that skinny package talk a couple months back, YouTube TV or wherever it was, where they're going to allow you to have 40 channels to watch through YouTube, and you could, like a skinny package in cable. Up to 40 channels, you can pick whatever ones you want and you pay a premium. That is an actual fucking mainstream media platform. That is a business model of mainstream media, and that's what YouTube is trying to crack into. I'm not happy about everything that's happening. I'm not excited about the fact that YouTube is essentially dying. I'm not thrilled that I'm probably going to have to find a new platform, but I'm understanding of the plight, because here's another little thing that I don't think a lot of people want to talk about. Many YouTubers have taken advantage of the system and hid behind the red tape that they were able to, of it's just a joke, or they were only being influential or only being serious when it was convenient towards them. People have freaked out and lost careers, lost real world jobs. Some people are losing children over this type of shit. It's fucking insane. And why? Because it's YouTube. It's real. It's people. But yet it still has this fringe thing where it's a business. And I don't think that many people understand the line, the divide, what it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to mean, what it's supposed to feel like, how to fucking balance both of those. It's terrifying sometimes. Even for me, I don't make shit off this. But I always think, look, I had to tell somebody today that we have to stop a bit because he found that there could be a legal problem, essentially, down the line with what we were doing. I've got to constantly worry about that. It's a little bit of a hemorrhoid. It's a pain in the ass because you got to worry. What's going to fuck you up? What's going to fuck you up in the real world? It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. I did not intend to go this far off the rails with this entire situation. I really didn't. Because I like what YouTube is. I like the ability to make a little bit of money off this. I think it's great. And I think that there should be some sort of system in place that allows for edgy content to exist. Because I think there are a lot of advertisers that see the value in edgy content. I think there's a lot of advertisers that like edgy content and want to be able to hit that demographic. But because once again, YouTube is still considered to be the home of cat videos and frivolous things and a lot of family-oriented videos. It's mainly for kids. At least that's the perception. Even a lot of the biggest YouTubers in the world have very high young demographics. Shocking or not, my buddy Tommy C and I both have rather larger demographics of older people. I was shocked to find that my child, and I'm a wrestling channel and Pokemon channel, and yet the kids only take up a small portion of my demographic. I am 18 to 35 strong. That is a bulk, like 70% of my demographic. I was like, holy God, that's absolutely crazy. But I think that there should be something that should acquiesce to both, that should cater to both. There's got to be a system. There's got to be a happy medium to be able to placate both things, because I think there's a market for it. And if YouTube is unwilling to play to that market, somebody else is going to attempt it. But let me tell you, if you think there's not going to be rules and regulations, well, then you're simply not paying attention, because the world is going this way. The world is going this way. It's pretty crazy. Captain Curse, Pew's made a video today showing his demographic. They're older too. Now that's surprising to me. I think that's going to be surprising to a lot of people, because the perception for PewDiePie is that he has a younger demographic. But here's what people don't think about when they automatically come to that conclusion. PewDiePie's been on the platform forever. So he probably had a very young demographic, 14-year-olds, but they've been following him for what, 5, 10 years? So that means they're now 20. They're 25 now, you know, they've grown up with him. And that's part of the appeal. It's part of the allure. So it's all pretty crazy when you think about it. It is all absolutely insane. And it's a cluster. And I understand why some people are going to freak out about it and some people are going to be upset about it, and they have every right to be. But I don't know if there's a fix for it. This whole fix YouTube wave. And I think if you want to create here, essentially you just got to create here and hope that it all works out. I never banked on this to be a career. It started to get a couple bucks in, and that was nice. And I'm not even saying the people that do bank on it are necessarily wrong. But as H3H3 and PewDiePie and Keemstar and all these bigger YouTubers already said, they're probably still going to be okay. Their lifestyles are going to change because they're not going to make the money that they were. And that's going to be hard for some of them because they have started treating it, even if they didn't at first, they are now treating it like real careers. They're putting in 40, 60, 80 hours, if not more a week. They have teams. They have assistants. They have production assistants. They have editors and graphics designers. They made small businesses out of YouTube. And maybe that was never the intent. It is what ended up happening, but it was probably never the intent. I don't think Google or anybody else was meaning this to be an entrepreneur machine. It went out that way because of the influence and how many people were using it. And then by then, the genie was out of the bottle. There's no way of fixing it at that point, you know? There's no way of going back and changing things when people are being brought in because of that allure. It's such a catch-22. My God. Ooh, a ducklet. I find it interesting. I probably had some of the best points I've ever made on this subject, all while playing Pokemon. So I just find that funny. It's pretty good. If you want to weigh in on this subject or anything else, the guy getting booted from his esports team, go ahead and jump into my waiting call on Discord. I'll also open up Skype. I think we'll open up. We haven't opened up Skype in a little while, and considering I still pay for that fucking number, might as well use the damn thing every now and then. So we're going to take calls on Skype and on Discord. If you want to jump in Discord, get in a waiting call, go ahead and get up in there, slide up in. Also, we are taking donations like we always are. If you want to name any of the team members or Pokemon that we catch, I should say, go ahead and donate to the channel. If you want a copious haiku made on any topic that you want, I will make up a copious haiku right on the spot just for you. $5 donation. That will ensure you getting a copious haiku during the show immediately. I'll write it in the next 5 minutes. That's what we do with that. So we're going to do that and all that good stuff. And if you want to call in on Skype, please do so. David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA. And of course, the number 702-751-2902. Let's start with Super Tobes. You're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
Hey Dave, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Captain Kirsch says, Dave, you okay? Your voice sounds scratchy. I would say sensual. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting sick. Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound fine.
What do you got for me, buddy?
I really don't know. I really just wanted to have a little bit of a conversation with you about anything, really. I've been having a shit week.
Well, that's unfortunate. I was going to make fun of you, but I don't like the fact that you're having a shit week. That's unfortunate. No, I'm serious. Like, I was going to be like, oh, I'm about to fuck with this guy up here. But no, I don't like when my family, my YouTube family is having a bad week. What's going on, buddy? Is everything okay? I mean, there's not a razor or anything around you right now, is it? I mean, this isn't one of those situations where I could be saving your life. Is there something I should be saying right now? Should I be like, don't jump off the bridge? You know, you're not on a bridge. I don't hear traffic, so that's probably good. That's probably good.
Yeah, I'm in my room. So yeah, everything's kind of tame at the moment. But yeah, it's just been a really tough fucking. I wouldn't just say week. It's been a rough few weeks, really.
Yeah, life can get that way sometimes.
Yeah, it's just shit with exams and really my social life and a few ways and my having to deal with my family and.
Well, let me ask you this, and I don't want to bring too much of your actual real life into things. How much of it is probably petty? How much of the things that are going on in your life are probably manageable, but because everything is compounded and everything kind of jumps on at the same time, it feels bigger and grander than it probably is? Percentage, how much of it do you think it is?
Percentage.
Or is it everything and what I mean by that is the major stuff in life are things like this. Getting kicked out of school because of bad grades or because of bad behavior. Cancer in the family or personal. Losing a girlfriend because she's putting the fucking vagina on another guy. Things like those are major things. Fights with friends. My mom is calling my dad a bastard, and I'm crying myself to sleep. Those are rather frivolous things that aren't, you know what I mean? They're not the most serious things in the world. So percentage-wise, how much of those are just compounded, smaller things compared to major life-altering things?
15%, I'd say, or just bullshit.
85% is major?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. Man, I really was I was counting on it to be the opposite way. I really was. I was counting on it to go the other way here. Because
you can make jokes, it's fine.
Well, no, I was going to tell you the only good advice my dad ever gave me, but unfortunately, if these are major things that are happening in your life, this really doesn't apply. My dad said something to me when I was younger, before he died. And it was one of the only things that ever stuck with me. It was very simple because he was a hillbilly. And he just looked at me and he said, Dave, you got to know when to say fuck it. It's the most important lesson you'll ever learn. Or I don't give a fuck. You got to learn when to say I don't give a fuck. That's not always applicable. That's not always applicable.
Yeah.
But it's helped quite a bit.
You got to know when. That's
You do.
thing.
Let me. What's
Yeah.
the? If you don't mind, what's the most severe thing that's going on in your life right now?
I just talked about it on Tommy's stream.
Oh shit.
It's just kind of where I live and my sexuality, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a huge issue.
Yeah. People are
Mhm.
unaccepting of your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well, that you know what? I got good news for you. I do got some really good news for you. That's pretty
Go
much
ahead.
bullshit. Not what you're saying is bullshit, but the fact that people have a different opinion of your lifestyle, that's stuff that you could deal with very easily by saying those famous words my father told me. I don't give a fuck. Because look, you're going to get out of that town. You're going to
I
get
live
out
in
of
the
that.
Middle East, man. It's just
Well,
it's not really that,
okay,
you know.
well, maybe
It's not the fuck it sort
no,
of
it's
thing.
really
It's
not.
just,
Okay, you need to leave. Come here.
yeah.
As Captain
Yeah,
Kirk said.
yeah, I just saw that in the chat. It's just,
See,
again, it's not
I
that
should
simple.
probably know more about what's going on with you because I thought you were like in
Yeah.
rural Indiana and like
No.
you got a much more complicated situation. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to lead with
Really
that
uphill
next
battle.
time. Next time just say all the problems that you have are religious based because of your region. Religious based in certain regions aren't as big deal. A person having a problem with their hate mongering Christian father is not as big of a problem as having an issue with their over religious Muslim father. It's a much different situation. There's different levels of severity.
Yeah.
So lead with that next time, man. Holy shit, I'm tap dancing here like I'm Richard Gere in fucking Chicago. Holy shit.
And I'm lifting up the manhole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I do hope everything is going to be okay, though. I do. And
I hope so too. I mean, we can make fun of the 15% of my problems, which is just me being mad at video.
Oh, you silly bastard. 15% of your problems are being mad at video games. Holy shit. Well, you know what? That 15% of yours was actually a major problem for somebody else because he had to go on an Edward rant in the middle of an Overwatch stream and he lost his fucking esports job. So at least you're not that guy. So
at least I'm not that guy. I literally punched the table the other day. It was just this culmination of every bullshit in my life and the fact that I lost the competitive game. And my knuckles bled like for 3 hours.
Do not punch tables. There are certain, like you got to punch soft things like pillows or blankets or babies. Those are all
they don't do that for they don't do it for me.
Well, I mean, have you punched a baby? When was the last time you punched a baby? Because let me tell you, it's pretty satisfying. It's a wonderful way to relieve stress. It's amazing.
We don't have any baby. Well,
There's
yeah,
no
I do
babies?
have a baby around, but
Well, I mean, you can't go outside and find some fucking dame pushing a goddamn stroller and be like, "Hey, ma'am, can I give you $10 if I punch your baby?" I mean, that won't work. Just asking. And if you get in trouble, you can just act retarded, and hopefully you'll get away with it. It works for me. You just act retarded.
I think it was like a gag at a Family Guy episode where Chris goes up and grabs a woman by the tits, and he goes, "Oopsie poopsie," and she goes, "Aw."
Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, fucking Peter did a shtick like that, where he was acting, or he was retarded, and he was going into women's stalls and going, "Oops, retarded, don't know any better." You're just curious. I didn't even think about that. I did a fucking Family Guy sketch. Holy shit. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I'm looking forward to right now is my volunteer work this weekend.
Oh, what are you volunteering as? What are you doing?
Well, I'm doing a comic convention in my country, and I'm a talent personal assistant. I'm gonna meet a few celebrities here and there, some cosplayers.
This is awesome. This is great.
A few cosplayers. I'm a personal assistant to a cosplayer from Italy who's really famous on Instagram. I forgot his last name, but his name is Leon. And I get to meet an actor from Game of Thrones, the priest, the many-faced god priest.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Tom. Wait, fuck, he has a Polish name. I
Yeah,
can't
no, that's awesome. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I can give you some advice here. With the Italian guy, move your hands a lot. Another Family Guy sketch. Now that I think about it, move your
Yeah.
hands a lot. Everything I know, I've learned from Family Guy. What is going on with my life?
I don't know why Tommy hates the show so much.
The funny thing is, Tommy and I, every major fight that we've gotten has been over something really stupid, and I'm not even kidding. On like 3 separate occasions, we've gotten over actual real fucking fights over Seth MacFarlane. Like serious fights. It's not even funny. It's like everything was compounded during this time because Tommy and I took a whole year break from each other once. Like we were like, fuck you.
Over a Seth MacFarlane thing?
No, it was much more than that. We were both going through a lot of personal shit at the time. He was going through his divorce. I was in an unbelievable amount of pain and I was not dealing with it well. I was still on morphine in and out. I was in a bad place and I was fat and miserable. I'm still fat, but I'm not as fat and I'm certainly not as miserable. And Tommy was Tommy and could be with him. Sometimes I could be very triggerable. And we would get in these fights over shit like Seth MacFarlane because neither one of us wanted to give a point over fucking Seth MacFarlane. It was crazy. And then other things would come up and it would be a bigger situation. And it was so stupid. But yeah, it happens.
Yeah, the guy's pretty talented though.
Who, Seth? Oh, Seth is unbelievably talented.
Yeah, but he does have an ego.
Well, sure, but I mean, look.
Yeah, it was.
When you look at his career, the dude is one of the most successful voice actors that you don't realize he was a part of. He did everything. He did back before Family Guy. He was on every Cartoon Network show, like all of them.
Yeah.
He's written, he's produced, he's voice acted. I think he's a good singer. He can dance. He can.
He's an excellent singer. Have you heard his Christmas covers and things like that?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
yes,
it was amazing.
It's pretty crazy.
He was in that movie called Sing.
Yes, he was.
The animated movie.
Yes, he was. I actually like some of his movies quite a bit. I
like Ted and Ted 2, but
Ted
A Million Days to Die in the West.
I loved Million Ways to Die in the West. I think that
seriously,
movie, I did. I absolutely loved it. And I'm not even a big fan of.
I
all
can't
that
get
type
behind
of humor sometimes. Oh, I love that movie. I'm a big referential humor type guy. I love referential humor. That's like my wheelhouse. And that movie's got it in spades. And I don't know. That movie is so funny to me, and it got absolutely panned.
Yeah, it's I didn't like it at all. It felt very lowest common denominator. It felt a bit of a mess when it comes to the dialogue, of course.
That's Family Guy in spades.
But Family Guy, Family Guy it still holds up to this day.
Oh no, Family Guy hasn't been good. No, I disagree with you. Family Guy hasn't been good since season 5. It's been a long time.
No, like a few seasons ago, there was a joke that still stands out to me to this day, and it's just joke? It was basically an auditorium filled with pedophiles, and they were like, "We're gonna play the symphony in A minor," and everyone started clapping. And it was just my funniest thing. And then Peter comes on breaks the fourth wall and says, "Well, if Modern Family made that joke, you'd be holding them you'd be holding them over your shoulder."
Lowest common denominator. That's not lowest common fucking denominator. Holy shit.
That is, but it's really smart.
It is, but it's also kind of self-deprecation as well, which sometimes can be really good and sometimes can be really bad. Super Tobes,
you still won't give us an enemy.
What's that?
And you still won't give us an Emmy?
You're right. Yeah. Look, I do want to get some other callers. Hopefully, I was able to brighten the day a little bit, man. And
you have. Thanks.
With all that crazy stuff that's going on, man, I can't speak like I would to other people, especially when it comes to sexuality, because of the region of the world that you live in. I know it's a completely different thing. It's a whole nother entity, and because of where I live and how I grew up, there's no way I could possibly understand it. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I could. But here's what I can tell you. From a basic human standpoint, you're probably going to be okay, you know? And
Yeah.
as long as you stay true to who you are and you don't allow anything physical to happen to you because of it, and if you can remove yourself from the situation, that's the best way to go about this. Just don't let your spirits get too dampened, and just know you have friends, even if we're only in a digital community. Okay, buddy?
Yeah, I know. That's why I love hanging out on Discord. In many ways, it's my safe space because for me, it's just my safe space is where I could express my opinions, talk about it, and put my opinion out there. Invite more opinions. That's very important because I used to be like a diehard social justice warrior, and now I'm a bit of a libertarian, and I'm really happy about it.
And that goes to show that anybody can change. Experience and age goes a long way in changing how we feel about things. So
yeah, but you need to have this willingness as well.
Yeah, absolutely, you do. And sometimes that's also nothing more than time as well. So
yeah,
pretty good stuff. Tobes, I love you, buddy. I hope you have a really, really good day. Let me know when that thing is. That's this weekend, the comic book thing, right?
Yeah. It's Thursday, Friday.
If you could take videos of anybody, I'll run that shit for you, man. Give me a behind the scenes extravaganza, man. We'll do something together with it, okay, bud?
All right, sure. Thanks, Dave.
No problem, buddy. I appreciate you. You've always been a good supporter of the channel, and I appreciate it. You have yourself a real good day.
Thank you.
Take it easy, pal. Good stuff, man. I feel like a dick, because like I didn't know the problems were as hard, I didn't know the problems were as hard, or that they were going to be as difficult and as serious as they turned out to be. Like if you go back and you listen, I really thought a lot of it was just frivolous problems, and when you're wrong about something like that, it can get difficult because I do care about you guys. When you call in and you guys tell me about your problems, it affects me. Like I want to be able to help, and I know that I can't in everything. There's no way that I can. So hopefully if I put a smile on your face today, that's sometimes enough. A smile can get you through a fucking day like you wouldn't believe. Many, many days, trust me. It's been a random smile that just kind of made everything better. And I know that's sappy and hokey, but whatever. You're here. I'm wearing a fucking Mario hat. What do you expect? We had a donation during that call, and I greatly appreciate it, from Shady Tree. Donated $10. Hey, Dave, could you tell a fun behind-the-scenes story from Catch 33? Yes, here's a here's a funny behind-the-scenes story. I really want to put out more episodes. There's really not a lot. And I can't, anything that would be like truly interesting to tell of a story about Catch 33, things that I can't talk about because of, I wouldn't betray anybody's trust. So it's difficult. There's not a lot. Because we have such a good dynamic, and we will be getting more episodes out as soon as Clown gets this new video up. But, I'm trying to think of something really funny. I mean, some of the goofs, there's really not a lot of crazy behind the scenes story, It's, man, I got nothing. I got nothing. Pyoxys, how many times you and Tommy yelled at Clown to stop being lazy behind the scenes? Here's the thing on that, and maybe this is gonna surprise some of you. Maybe it shouldn't, but it might. We don't really yell at Clown. And it's not because we're afraid to. For me personally, I'm not gonna yell at Clown because, one, I understand his process. I understand how artists go. I understand how artists think. I understand what they're trying to accomplish, and I understand how Clown views his work, and I know how important it is to him. I also understand that he's an extremely busy human friggin' being. Extremely busy human being. So what would happen if Tommy, myself, and Vega started bitching at Clown incessantly about making times and doing more? Well, he wouldn't really want to be a part of it no more, would he? Why make it miserable for him? That doesn't make sense to me. So we don't do that. And not just for that reason, from a business standpoint. Here's the thing. We actually love Clown. I legitimately consider him a friend. I don't know if he considers me a friend. I don't talk to him as much as I'd like. I do reach out when I don't talk to him for stretches. And I certainly would love to be closer with him because I think he is a stunningly genuine human being. He's simplistically complicated in this wonderful way. I think that he is smart. I think he's funny. And I really do have a lot of respect for him in an artistic fashion. And his loyalty is fucking commendable in ways you cannot comprehend. And personally, what he did for my buddy is something else. You know, it's like what he did for Tommy. It's on so many levels. And not even mentioning what he did for me. Bringing me into Catch 33 was probably stupid. It was probably dumb. But they did it. I didn't beg for it. Tommy didn't work Clown over to get me on. The way I understand it, that was Clown's decision. And not one that even Tommy agreed with. They could have brought in somebody much bigger and probably been able to do a hell of a lot more. But I think when Clown thinks of things, he thinks of them in many different facets. And one of them being his own priorities. So I made sense in that regard. And I think we've done some great stuff in Catch 33, and I look forward to doing even more. And it's just, I can't say enough good things about everybody who's in this group. I am so fucking lucky because Tommy and I, we're just guys who talk into microphones. We don't have a whole lot of other talents as far as creating videos. Like I put together a couple of videos and they've been fine. Tommy can create some videos and he's good at it. You know, he's adequate at it. But what Vega and fucking Clown do is incredible. It's awe-inspiring to me because I can never do it. I got to get people to do graphics for me because I'm incompetent. I can't do them. I'm not good at it. I'm not patient enough. I just want to grip it and rip it. I want to talk into a microphone and do my thing. That's what I want to do. That's my happy place. That's what makes me come alive. All that other stuff doesn't interest me as much. So to know what guys like Clown, who has a legitimate job, has a life, has all this stuff that he does, and still be able to put out the content, now, granted, not as frequently as people would like, is unbelievable. But then when you look at someone like Vega, who arguably puts out some of the best put together shit on all of YouTube, that in and of itself is flabbergasting. Like, because nobody knows who he is. Now, more people are knowing him now because of all the connections that he's made in recent months. But nobody knows who this guy is, and it's unfortunate because of how talented he is. When you start thinking about all the other things that make up Vega as a human being, the fact that he goes to school, he's got a job, he's a former army, he's a fucking war hero. All these things. He is an unbelievably fascinating and guess what else? Good fucking human being. It's insane the people I get to run with right now. The fact that I get to have Pokemon conversations with people like Billy the Fridge and Ace Trainer Liam, who is now frequenting my streams quite often. It blows my goddamn mind that I've had interactions with fucking brilliant creators like Leon Lush and Bunty King, funny and genuine human beings like Ginger Heat, getting to know smaller creators but very cool people like the entire Pesky podcast, all those guys, Bear, Skunk, Dog, all of them, great. By the way, Captain Kirsch, another amazingly talented human being who also has an entire life that she's able to fucking balance and still put out stuff. It's, say what you want about YouTube and what it is supposed to be, what it truly means. It's for cat videos, whatever. It is producing a creative renaissance because a lot of these guys, while they may not be on-screen talent like the Fousey Tubes and all those motherfuckers, they may not be going out there and making these huge crossovers. A lot of these editors, a lot of these graphic artists, a lot of these regular artists, a lot of these music creators, they're going to get jobs in the industry. They're going to latch on to actual podcasts. They're going to. The fact that I've had Pyrocynical and Piplad and all these guys who are, and that's from Pyoxys, it's crazy to me. It bugs me out. I love you guys more than you'll ever know. And it's crazy. I'm a big raging homo, but that's okay. All right, let's take another caller. I want to take some more calls. Let's go back to Discord, see who's waiting in there. Let's bring in Brace. I see Brace has been here for a while. I'll get to Will after that. Brace, you're live with Dead on Dave. Turn down my stream. What do you got?
What's up, Dave?
What's up, partner?
First of all, I like A Million Ways to Die in the West. Let's start off.
Good man, good man.
I want to ask you about your personal life, if you want to talk about it.
Oh, I'm an open book, brother.
Because I know you were in the army, of course.
Yeah, almost 10 years.
Like, because you had like a list of points you did about YouTube and the current situation was happening, and it was like very interesting to listen to, almost to the point like a teacher at my school would explain something.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, what did you do for high school, for college? Well, what's the situation there?
The funny thing is that you mentioned a teacher. I was going to school to be a teacher. I was going to be a teacher.
Right.
Yeah, after the army. Well, I joined the army right out of high school. I had a 2-year scholarship to UNLV that I did not take because I wanted to. After I graduated, basically I saw my entire life planned out for the next 20 years, and it scared the balls off me. So I'm like, I want to go to the army. I want to take a little bit of a break. 3-year tour. Remember, this is prior to 9/11. So I'm like, I want to take a little bit of a break. I had this great girlfriend that I was going to marry. All this shit was just too planned out. I had a 2-year scholarship to UNLV that probably would have got picked up, and I would have got a full ride. More than likely. My grades were great. I was a decent enough baseball player that had my body held up. I probably would have latched on for the second 2 years, but I don't know. Football, if I would have kept playing that, my body was done. Even at 18, I know that. So I joined the army, and then 9/11 happens, and it fundamentally changes everything. So I go through all the army stuff. I end up getting hurt, and when I get medically retired in 2010, my first thought is, well, let's go back to a passion that I was always afraid to pursue, and that was teaching.
Let's go back to square one, basically.
Yeah, well, I was not going to be a teacher when I was going to UNLV. I was actually going to, believe it or not, I was in the theater department. I was going to become some sort of an actor. It's always been that was the plan. A lawyer was always a backup pipe dream because I like to argue. But teacher was always something that I never told people about, and it's something that I wanted to do. So when I got retired, I'm like, well, let's use the GI Bill and let's go to school and become a history teacher because that was a passion. So I started going to UMUC, University of Maryland, and I was going to classes here in Germany because they have instructors that'll come here and they will teach courses. That's what they do. There's a few, like Phoenix has some courses that are taught that way. University of Maryland does, a few others. And I started going to these courses, and I started regularly getting taken out of classes. My body was not handling it. And unfortunately, combined that with some paperwork snafu on the VA's end, they stopped paying my rent, and we lost everything. We ended up being out on the street for about 3 months. My wife had to go on one part of Germany and live with a friend while she was working to save money. I actually had to go take my daughter and live with my mom, who was luckily stationed with her soon-to-be ex-husband now over here in Germany. So that kind of put to bed everything because I started really getting down on myself after that. I started blaming myself for everything, pain-wise and everything, and I just stopped pursuing all the pipe dreams of, being a teacher, and I just kind of accepted my lot in life, gained about 300 pounds, and just waited to die for a little while. And then YouTube and creating and all that good stuff kind of changed that for me. So.
Yeah, from now on, I get the picture. But I'm missing like 8 years. The moment you joined, which I guess was 2000?
2001.
2001, and then 2010 when you quit or got discharged.
Retired, yeah.
Yeah, that's well. Why did you stay for 9 years? Was it just because 9/11, or was there like some for sort of value in the army that you decided, all right, I'm gonna stay because of this reason?
Well, there's a few reasons. One, I did love my job. I loved what I did. I was in communications. I was kind of pushed. I was young, and I was in an infantry unit that was going overseas. That was going to Iraq, I should say, and I kind of got pushed into all of these credentials, these certifications. I got to do a lot of really cool stuff. So I ended up getting a top secret clearance. I had a lot of really cool shit that was being thrust upon me, and I was a very low-ranking soldier at the time. So I had these big visions of what my career in the Army was going to be. Then I met this woman right here, and I ended up getting her pregnant in about 2 months, and that was not the plan. And so I married her, and that changed everything, and that was a big reason why I stayed in for as long as I did. I probably would have been out in 3 or 4 years. Had I not met her, had I not had our daughter, I probably would have been out in 3 or 4 years.
Okay. Well, do you regret? That's not really nice to say, but do you regret the decision, or?
I'm not a guy who regrets. I just
Well, not anymore since
no,
you
I know
lived,
what you mean though. I'm not a guy who goes like constantly is like, man, what if I can change? What if I was able to change? I don't like to do that. It's just not in my nature to do that. It's not for any reasons, just because I don't want to bum myself out mainly. But no, I think about how things would have been had I stayed in Vegas, and if I would have married that chick and all kinds of things, or had I not gone to the club that night to go meet this one. I think about what? I gave you the thumb point. You know what? Because of that, I do regret it. How about
Oh
that?
God. Don't blame me.
I don't regret anything. My life is fairly good, all things considered, so I can't be too upset.
Well, I do admire your positivity, because it's, for me at least, very hard to muster up that every day, I guess.
Yeah.
And you can do it perfectly.
I didn't for a long time, buddy. And let me tell you, I didn't for a long time. Between 2001, or excuse me, 2011 and 2013 and a half, I essentially gave up, and I did. I essentially just completely gave up on everything. And
so you had to
my daughter
experience one side to be appreciative of the other side.
Essentially, my daughter got old enough to where she started giving me looks that made me kind of wake up, and now I'm starting to affect her. Affecting me is one thing. I can handle that. My biggest rule in life is have whatever bullshit you want going on in your life. It's the second you let it become other people's problem or affect the people around you, that makes you an asshole. And I didn't want to be an asshole anymore, especially when it came to my kids. So that's basically what turned everything around.
Kids are very impressionable. You don't want to give out a very different negative vibe. Yeah, I get it.
I didn't want to be the reason that she would be doing coke off some guy's dick when she was 19 years old. I didn't want to fuck my kid up. That went through my head very strong, and so I knew I had to make some changes.
No, I get it.
So, and then my wife and I were not in a very good place. We weren't talking for a long time because I was a miserable fucking prick. Because I just ate, took drugs, and sat on a bed, and that was it. Didn't leave
it's a tough relationship.
It was tough. What, baby?
Well,
laying, I should say, not sitting, laying. But
well, that's the best. I appreciate the information.
Hey, no problem, man.
Now I got some backstory. Basically, I know, well, not basically everything, but the general story from 2000 to now. Which is good to know.
Hopefully you're not using this as a, formulation of how you're going to murder me one day. But if you are, make sure
that's between me and God.
Fair enough. Look, I appreciate all that, man. I love talking about stuff like that. This is what this channel is about. It's my therapy. So
Yeah, especially when it's a little bit quiet, I can ask some personal questions, which I'm genuinely interested in.
Well, anytime, brother. I enjoy talking about it. So
All right, well, I got some.
Helps me reflect. You know.
It's sort of a therapy,
Yeah, exactly.
free therapy, I guess.
All right, Brace. You have yourself a good night, buddy. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Good stuff. Let's bring in the man from Scotland with the voice that you won't really be able to understand, but he is Rodimus8 on Twitter. He's Gaming Fault here on YouTube, the one and the only. Will Dillon, what's up, partner?
Hey, dude. Wow, how do you follow up those two calls? That
We're
was
having a pretty epic show.
That was really. I'm sitting there and I'm like, right. I was going to talk about the whole YouTube thing, just because like I've now had to change things up.
Yeah.
But then I'm listening to the two guys and I was like, holy fuck, this is really interesting. But no, like now you're talking about the way YouTube's changed a lot of things in the last little while. I've noticed, like myself, where I don't know if a lot of smaller channels will do this, dude. I'm kind of hoping they kind of see what I'm trying to do. I don't know if they will, but see that way I'm trying to branch out now, because I can see the way. Like I said, I got hit with restrictive mode. I got hit with it. I still don't understand why, but hey ho, it's happened.
It's
so
because they don't understand you and they think every other word is like cunt or shit or something because they can't understand anything you fucking say. That's why. Problem solved.
I've been really good for the last maybe 24 hours.
Do your Texas accent all the time on your shows. You'll be fine. They'll be able to understand you.
Oh, I know. I should do one. I really should do one of the shows. But it was. I have seen like kind of hope with like changing some things, and like it's making me want to work like more. Whereas I usually just have a set plan. I have a set plan, and now I'm changing everything up to what I used to do, like a business sense. So it's like, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that, and it is starting to try and bring more people like, and watch. And I'm just kind of hoping like younger or even smaller channels that do similar to the game and stuff just don't give up. Like, remember, I think me and you spoke about this months ago in one of the topics. I can't remember what it was, but not to give up on something just because you see all the bad stuff that's happening just now. It's like you said, it's going to change one way, might be for the better. We don't know yet, but
more
just
than
don't
likely,
give up yet.
It's not for a lot of the smaller channels. More than likely, unless you are a full-on PG or even G, family-friendly, no edgy content whatsoever, don't even play violent video games type of guy, more than likely, it's going to be a rough ride, unless you're already established. I at least for a while, I'm not exactly sure where it's going. And that's the thing. If they genuinely want to become a mainstream entity, well, who the fuck knows? You know, who knows where this is going to go? It could be the end. But the thing is, if you want to create, don't stop creating. Plain and simple. Just don't stop creating. There's other places that you can upload. Twitch is becoming a little bit more accepting of more things from what I understand, but I have a feeling they're going to come back harder than ever eventually because they are Twitch. There are other things, Stream Me, that Vivo, there's others, but there will be places for people to go if you just want to create. If you want this to be an easy income source, well, you got in for the wrong fucking reasons.
Oh yeah.
You know, and maybe you deserve what you're getting in some aspects because this is not as easy as people think it is. This is hard. If you want to become, look, I don't like Keem. I don't. I really, really don't. As an individual, as a human fucking being, I don't like him. I don't like what he does to people. He told a story on Twitter today, responding snarkily to a comment that really didn't warrant the response that he gave, but he told basically his journey, which I've never heard, and he summed it up in about a 2-minute and 20-second video. The respect that I gained from him because of his level of hustle, not his ethics, not his, some parts of the story, I was like, Jesus Christ, you don't even see the fact that you got lucky in certain instances. sometimes the amount of work you put in is never going to be quantifiable in how much benefit you get out of it. So I think the idea of what he was trying to get across was ultimately a failure. But the level of hustle that guy is capable of, the one thing you could never call Keemstar is fucking lazy. That guy works. And a lot of PewDiePie fucking works. Ethan fucking works. iDubbbz fucking works. Markiplier works. All of these guys, they bust their fucking asses. And a lot of them do it on their own. That's impressive. That is what I'm fucking talking about. That's what gets my dick hard. I'm like, that's creation. I like that shit. Yeah. That's inspiring to me. Will I ever become that? No fucking idea. All I like I said, all the creation, all the crazy stuff that a lot of these creators do, not really my thing. I like to talk into a microphone. That's what I like to do. So
that's it, dude. I mean, some of the things, like, there is a lot of people, even I spoke to, like outside YouTube, I'm talking about back here in Scotland, that is it not really easy to do? Is it not really easy to make money? And you're looking at them as if, no, it's fucking not. It's one of the hardest things I've ever came across was self-promotion. That was the hardest thing, was to try and bring people to like watch your stuff
consistently. The funny thing is, you can get a viral video. You know, a lot of people may not know this. Tommy C, he had a viral video in the first year of doing YouTube. He did a Harlem Shake video that got picked up by a hockey Yahoo Hockey, fucking Puck Daddy, picked up his Harlem Shake video, and it got hundreds of thousands of hits. And then it still took him goddamn 4 years to get 1,500 subs. It's just like, people don't realize it's the consistency that's hard. Anybody can get lucky and have a jump rope into the groin video go viral. Anybody, anybody. I've had a video, a random fucking SmackDown review that is my highest viewed video at 130,000 hits. Couldn't tell you why, was never able to replicate it. Never got a video even close to that. Consistency is the word that people don't talk about enough when it comes to creating on YouTube, because it's hard to do unless you're established. That's it.
I mean, I'm the same, Dave. I think I've got one video. If I quickly open up my channel, I've got one video that for some reason, this was back like 2011, and it blew up. I have no idea what I did, and it was back in the days where I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. It was just like, the editing was choppy. I was using a Rock Band microphone to do my. That's how bad it was. And basically, you could probably guess what it was on. I don't even have to give you a guess.
I'm wondering. Could it be the Transformers?
Yeah, I mean, on that video, I mean, it's well over. What is that just now?
Oh, before you continue, I want to give a big shout out to Captain Kirsch, who's been hanging out the entire show, and she said, "I love your show, Dave. I always have you on the background when I'm working. It's like having a buddy sit next to me." That's the highest compliment that I can get, is when people that level of connection. Thank you, Captain Kirsch. You're fucking beautiful. Love you to death. Fantastic creator. And she's awesome. Go check her out and have a good time in class. Sorry, Will. Please continue.
No. But seeing stuff like that as well, dude.
Makes my day, man.
It's brilliant, because that is one of the reasons, like, again, like how I started coming and watching you and that. It's just, you could be doing something, just have you on in the background, and there's always a nice vibe going round.
I'm like golf. I'm the golf of YouTube. You just put me on in the background, just sit there for hours and just let it go on. And every now and then you check in and go, "Oh, well, that's nice." I'm the golf of YouTube. You never get mad at golf. You just kind of, sometimes you go away for a few hours and you come back. Oh, he's still going. Look at that shit. Amazing. Hole in one. Fuck me. Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
I mean, this video uploaded 2011. It's close to 400,000 views.
Good God.
I
dude.
still to this day have no idea what I did, and I think it's only got 5 tags.
I think the microphone picked up my fart. I'm really sorry.
I didn't hear it. Don't worry.
That was amazing.
I didn't hear it.
I wasn't farting on your comment. I just really had to fart. I apologize. I'm a disgusting human being. I really am.
Oh, don't worry, dude. If you've got to go, you've got to go.
But no, that's cool that you got a video that had that many hits. But and how many subscribers do you currently have?
490.
Exactly. Isn't that fucking amazing that you can have 400,000 people? And I, if I'm doing my math correctly, which I don't think I am, that's like a 0.4% conversion rating. That's unfucking real. It's like, how is that even possible?
And that was, I think, my 7th video. Back when I started, that's when it wasn't like Let's Plays. That was just I'd record gameplay, chop up, and try and review it. But I can't do scripts, dude. I sound like a robot trying to do a script.
Yeah.
And still to this day, I'm like, how the fuck does none of this happen like that? And it's like you're trying to change everything, and with like way the algorithm works, through what we know, like try to change things up and try to keep things like PG friendly. No PG friendly. I don't think I could ever be PG in the sense. I won't be like in the edgy side, but see that way I don't want to go to Minecraft videos. I really don't want to go to Minecraft videos.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it all depends on what's motivating you to create. If this is the way I look at it, and I still believe this, and I don't care if I'm naive, I don't care if I'm stupid, I don't care. I firmly believe if you stick to what you enjoy doing, eventually good things are going to happen. People will find you if you're personable enough, or if you're talented enough, or if you do something uniquely enough that nobody else does. Eventually, you will grow on this platform. It's those who deviate for the reasons of trying to change just to hit the algorithm, or yeah. Now look, a lot of the guys that have gotten really big, yes, they've hit the algorithm lottery. But you look at almost all the names, even the guys currently who have hit the algorithm lottery, such as Chubbs and guys like that, they also have a vibrant and huge network that they've connected with, that they bounce ideas off them, they collaborate with, they have side business deals with. Keemstar today, in that video that I cited earlier, he talked not only about the things that he was doing on YouTube that made him financially successful, but a lot of the deals that he made outside of YouTube that made him financially viable. And that's the thing. YouTube on its own is not always the thing that is going to make you enough money to be successful. It's the things that you do because of your connections that you make through this platform. So yeah, as long as you, I farted again, as long as you continue to just do the content you want to do, you're going to be fine. You'll be fine.
I mean, I'm still happy doing it, dude. I still, like me and you said, this is our gateway. This is our gateway out, if you get my meaning.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can have a really bad day, but you can just have that moment where you think, oh, that would be something funny or something good to make, and you just go ahead and make it. And it does brighten up your day, knowing like you have made something.
Yeah.
I mean, by trade, my job was making spectacles. That's my trade I've done since I left school at 15. So it does something which I didn't think I could do, with like of creating something on the computer and recording stuff like that. I never thought I'd do that one day, and it was just a hobby. And I still look at it like it's a really good hobby, but that way I'm like, you do see it and you're like, oh, what can I do to try and change things? What can I try and do? Make improvements.
Improving your channel for the sake of improvement is one thing. Improving your channel because you're trying to hit an algorithm or trying to make a fuck ton of ducats is a different thing altogether.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
I get what you're saying. It's a crazy thing. And not to put too fine a point on things, but I do this because my body's a fucking prison. I am trapped within my body. The most physical thing that I've done in the past 7 years is what I'm currently doing, and I'm taking these incredibly long walks. And even that is, trust me, not all that much. This is my release. This is my escape. This is how I fucking stay sane. Is coming on here, playing Pokemon, talking wrestling, talking about all the stupid frivolous shit that's going on YouTube, or sometimes just having good buddies on, like you, like some of the other people who've called in, like Tobes, like Brace, and hearing some of the amazing things that not only stories that are going on in your lives or questions that you, for some reason, have of me. For some whatever reason, you find interesting about me. That humbles the fuck out of me every time. Brace, a guy who's given me a lot of shit in the chat, and I appreciate the shit that he gives me, to be completely honest. But when he called in and asked me, actually, honestly, asked me questions about my past, that is so humbling to me. It's like, Jesus Christ, somebody actually gives a shit. That's amazing to me, and I love that. And so I love you, Will, and you just keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
No, I'm the same back there. I love you, and I love the crowd. It's all here because we all look out for each other. Even was it yesterday? You said I can't remember the exact number you said you walked. I can't remember if it was yesterday's stream or the day before.
15 kilometers,
Yeah, that blew my mind, dude, because I remember you saying not long ago that if that was maybe a year or 2 years ago, that was not happening.
No, 6 months ago. Even 6 months ago, I was walking blocks. Six,
That's
7, 8
amazing,
blocks was
amazing.
that was an accomplishment. The farthest I was going even 4 or 5 months ago was what? The church? The hospital? Yeah, the church, and then I went a little bit farther to the hospital. That's 3 blocks away. And now I'm going to the next fucking town. It's amazing.
Amazing, dude.
It's amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
It's crazy. So, look, I think I'm going to wrap this up here soon. I've had a very, very long day. I'm going to go get some sleep.
I'm going to make sure you save a lot in this game.
I am saving, Beba. Okay. I just saved 2 seconds ago. I appreciate your concern. That sounds like a woman who just fucking lost a lot of her time. All right, Will, she's about to punch me. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Thank you, dude. Catch you after, Dave.
Catch you later, buddy. Yes, people in chat are noticing Dave has got the ass burps. Yes, many ass burps are coming. It's been not good. A lot of farts. This has been a really fun show. It went ways that I was not expecting it to go. I was not expecting to go into a bit of the not tirade, but rant that I went on with all of YouTube and stuff. I kind of wanted to keep it at that one guy, but it's been interesting. The calls have been great. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. Before you go, if you're in the UK and you have wrestling loves or you like those subscription boxes, check this out, man, because I am partnered with WrestleCrate.co.uk, and they got a special announcement for their May block. Check this out. Ooh, yeah, that's Kenny Omega, motherfuzzers. That's pretty damn cool. So if you guys want to sign up, go sign up with them. And if it's your first block, use promo code DeadOnDave, save 10%. Help me out, help you out, get yourself some cool stuff. So thank you guys very much for joining us right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Tomorrow is Review Battle Day. So tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, join me here live for your review battle. What was better this week, SmackDown or Raw? The Raw review is up, by the way. I won't do the SmackDown. I'll save that for the review battle. So get your asses up in here and get in there, all right? So I appreciate it, man. You guys are awesome. And we will see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Keep it copious, folks. Remember, as always, like, subscribe, and share. And if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Keep it copious, folks. And peace.
Here's your